Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the Frontline Changes Report. I've been very busy yesterday, so I didn't manage to do any reports yesterday. So have a belated Happy Eid or Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri, and yeah, I'm not sure if it's called Ramadan, but yeah. So anyway, Happy Puasa, which is over. So the frontline changes. There is a lot of frontline changes today. So which is why I'm not putting this together with the sit rep, and I will do a relaxed sit rep later after I have a sleep. I'm super sleepy right now. Super long day. So anyway, first frontline change is over at Terney, over at the Kremina front. So this is Kremina city, and this is Terney. So at the Terney region, over at this on the eastern part of Terney, there is the geolocation of Russian forces, basically invalidating Ukrainian claims that the Ukrainians may be there. So basically, the Russians have confirmed to have at least taken this area on the eastern part of Terney. So this is a very simple one. And then the next frontline change is over at Vimka. So over at Vimka region, the Russian forces continue to advance up this railway line towards the direction of Vimka. So this geolocation continue to advance the Russian front line, and is starting to look like a neck, grow towards this, or a snake. So that's all for the frontline changes over at Vimka. Further up north a bit, there is something at Verkhovno-Okayamsky. There's a frontline change. This is the first frontline change and confirmed videos or evidence that Russian forces are indeed attacking towards Verkhovno-Okayamsky. I haven't really seen anything on Verkhovno-Okayamsky in factual form for more than a year. So ever since the fall of Severodonetsk and the Ukrainians withdrawal from the Luhansk region, so this has been a long time since we have saw anything from this area here. Russian forces indeed is pushing towards Verkhovno-Okayamsky, so there is some frontline change over here. There is a heavy entrenchment of the Ukrainians over at this location. So if you zoom in, you can see this heavy entrenchment in this region here. It looks like this. Very complicated, huge fortification, and the Russian forces are geolocated to be attacking it. So it will be interesting to see how far the Russians can go hitting such a major fortification of the Ukrainians. This fortification is built pre-war, so this is one of those better ones, because it's built pre-war. So the next frontline change is over at Bohdaniivka, over in the Bakhmut front. So this is Bakhmut city, and at the Bakhmut front, there is geolocation of Ukrainian forces on the southern part of Bohdaniivka, very southern part over here. And the fact that the Ukrainian forces was geolocated over there do slightly invalidate the Russian claims of that they have captured the entire of Bohdaniivka. So we will continue to monitor, and because there is possible Ukrainian presence, we'll put this as a overlapping mapping, because this video footage could be backdated. It could be later. It could be something that's much earlier. So the next frontline change is over in the southern part of south of this location at Ivaniski. Similar thing happened over here. There's a Russian thermal barrage on Ukrainian positions in this tree line, and this one I will rate it as Ukrainian capture. Oh my god, wrong color. Ukrainian capture over this region here. However, do note that they are bombarded by the Russians through the thermobaric missiles, which means that people here are dead. Very dead. So the next frontline change is over at Novo Kalinov, over at the Avdiivka front. So this Avdiivka city in the northern part of Avdiivka front at Novo Kalinov, there is frontline change. This is based on Ukrainian mapping. Deep State UA mapped that the Russian forces have advanced in this area here, and they have actually grown in this direction towards the south of Novo Kalinov. And this comes after the Russians first attacked this area here, then another attack in the 2 days ago from the east, and now they're coming from the south. So this is like a very interesting, very tactical management of this battle at Novo Kalinov. There could be a possibility that the Ukrainian forces are running low on manpower at this very location, which is why the Russians are playing this game of hit a whack-a-mole kind of thing, where they attack this area here. Ukrainian forces reacted, then they hit this, then clearly the Ukrainians will have to react towards there, and then they hit south. So this is probably what is currently happening over at Novo Kalinov. Very, very interesting development in this area here. And then we go to Bedaichi. So at Bedaichi, there is also very interesting development. Russian forces geolocated in the tree line in the north of Bedaichi. The fact that the Russian forces have attacked this tree line means that it's going to complicate the Ukrainians' defense. Previously, the Ukrainians could have a good defense position around here. If the Russians captured it, then the Ukrainian defensive position would be complicated, with the Russians possibly attack towards the west in this direction, and basically bypass certain front lines. So that could be also pretty complicated. So we shall see how this goes. Bedaichi is a frontline position, well defended for a very long time, but is breaking apart right now. So further south at Umansky, there is also further changes. According to Deep State UA, the Russian forces have this Umansky, by the way, and previously the Russians were here at Tonenke, hitting towards Umansky. And also from Olivka, it is possible to attack, but the attack mainly is coming from Tonenke. And Deep State UA's mapping shows that the Russian forces have taken the entire tree line in this area here, which means that the Russian forces have pushed northward, going towards the river around here in the eastern part of Umansky. And there is a geolocation showing that the Russians actually tried to go to the southern part of Umansky. And so this is also reported by Deep State UA. Both information is coming from the Ukrainian source. So things are getting really complicated in this area here. And if the Russians are able to get a foothold, then the battle of Umansky will begin. So that's all from Umansky. And then further south, there is this very weird geolocation. So according to Krimi Kapris, he claimed that this is actually Russian forces being geolocated at this location. And however, I watched based on the geolocation, I look at the movement of the troops, the vehicles of the video. It looks like those are Ukrainian forces over here. And the only one that I can really see that is over at this location, this one, is a bombardment, and it looks like it may not be Russian forces, which means that the description of the geolocation might actually be wrong. So if this is Russians, then that means the Russians have actually taken huge swaths of land on the northern part of Verdian, which would mean a huge capture by the Russian forces. However, I'm not so sure based on the video that I watched. I feel like it is Ukrainians doing massive operation to pick up forces. They create a smoke screen and try to pick up their forces and withdraw from this position. They are actually trying to escape the front line around here. As I mentioned before in previous SIP rep, the Ukrainian forces can't hold their positions around here. They'll have to withdraw from this location, which means that this entire operation with many vehicles involved, with smoke screen involved, could be a part of this operation to help to pull out forces from the front line, and which means that this area here could still be fallen to the Russians by now, but we will continue to monitor. I do not dare to put any colors to it because I'm really not too sure, because whatever I observe contradicts what was being described in the caption of this of this video, as you can see, they say that attack by the Russian armed forces consisting several units of armored vehicles and motorized rifle unit north of Netelove. But no, I just not very convinced. So we'll wait. We'll wait, and we will know further when it comes. Further south, there is also frontline changes. Mainly, this frontline change is as a result of the Russian capture of Pervomaiske. Pervomaiske has been fought over for a very, very, very long time. According to DPA UA, they say that it began on August of 2022. For me, I cannot even remember when it started. It took a long time. And this is triggered because the Russian forces are geolocated at the the most western part of Pervomaiske, which means that the Russian forces have basically completed their assault operation through the village, and they have taken the entire village. And I mentioned before, this shouldn't be a surprise because Russian forces can just simply swing down from the north and basically capture this position. And it is unlikely that the Ukrainians are stupid enough to stay here. They'll probably withdraw before this had already happened, because it is just strategically or tactically just not possible to hold this position if the Russians have a flanking position right in the north. You don't want to be encircled. So, and basically this entire village is also being shot through. It's totally rubble. Every house is flattened, and is heavily swarming with drones all the time. So there's unlikely much troop or any Ukrainian troops actually hanging around. So, which is why with this capture, or this geolocation of Russian forces over there, it looks like the Ukrainians just considered that it is captured, and it is corroborated by Ryber. So both Russian and Ukrainian sources have confirmed that Pervomaiske has been captured by the Russian forces, and this is not acknowledged by any official sources just yet. But we'll probably see in 2 days' time, I guess, with the Russian Defense Ministry acknowledging the capture of Pervomaiske. So the next frontline change is over at Novo Mifka, over at the Donetsk front. So just now we were here. This is Pervomaiske. So we are now going down to Novo Mifka in the southwest of Donetsk city. So at Novo Mifka, there is some frontline change. According to the geolocation, Russian forces have continued to move down the street. Wrong color. So continue to move down the street, and I do not want to just draw it like this. Feels like a bit lazy. So no. Basically, this is probably a bit more accurate. The Russians are pushing westward, and then based on Ukrainian mapping, the Russian forces have also taken more grounds over in the southern part of this central part of Novo Mifka. So Russian forces continue their push through, and think it won't be long before the Ukrainian lines collapse, and they have to fall back to next line of defense. So that's all for Novo Mifka. And the last frontline change is over at Robotin. So at Robotin, we have this massive overlapping mapping between the Russian and Ukrainian mapping. However, there is the geolocation by the DPA UA themselves. The Ukrainian source reported that Russian forces landed troops right in the center of Robotin, which confirms Russian claims that Russian forces actually have control over in the southern half of Robotin, basically invalidating huge part of the mapping by the Ukrainian side. According to the DPA UA's own mapping, despite of this geolocation, they put this as gray zone, but I think it's Russian controlled. So anyway, if the Ukrainians are correct, then the Ukrainians still have a position down this tree, as well as still have control of this heavy entrenchment. Feels a bit unlikely. It just feels a bit far-fetched, because Russian forces would easily encircle them and then just cut through and basically stranded them into a cockroach. This is like a cockroach. So they will become a cockroach. So no, cockroach is not a bad thing. Cockroach means that you are very hard to kill. or you are just easy to kill, either one. So yeah, that's all from Robotin. So that's all for the Frontline Changes Report. As you can see, it's pretty long. It's already 40 minutes to almost 50 minutes for this video report. So I will do the SIP wrap in a separate video, and there's also so much to talk about. So I will think of the format, but I think I need to take a nap first. I'm very sleepy right now. Has been out for the whole day, so apologize for those that are waiting for the SIP wrap. I just cannot go on. Cannot go on anymore. I need to rest. I'll see you guys in the next update. And do check out the DPA forum. Follow me on Twitter and Telegram, and of course support me on Patreon. I really need the support. The Patreon supporters are getting lesser and lesser. Means my cushion is getting smaller and smaller and thinner, and the views are very unpredictable. So please save me. I'll see you guys in the next update.